plop. There you go, plop. Well, good morning and welcome to another salty winter upload on the AutoVlog YouTube channel. I hope everyone's doing fantastic. We have a couple awesome things to cover in today's video. Guess we got to start off by congratulating the Philadelphia Eagles to their first Super Bowl title. Although their fans proceed with pretty much trashing their own city after it wins its first Super Bowl. Yeah, I don't really know how that works, but okay. If you watched my previous upload, you might have seen my latest and last mod to the AMG, which was the front splitter from Mote Carbon. If you haven't checked that video out yet, you should. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you would have already seen what I'm talking about today. I don't know if you can really call it a modification. It sort of is because I've gotten them slightly personalized. So the other day I posted a story about this on Instagram. So if you don't follow me there yet, go ahead and do so, because the days where, you know, it's just winter, I'm not really doing anything, not uploading any videos on the channel. I post pictures, you know, the occasional story and stuff like that, and we have some behind the scenes stuff as well. I keep you guys up to date on what's going on the channel before it's actually happening. But let's see what this is, shall we? Boom. Yep, we have titanium lug bolts for my new wheels, and they actually have the AV logo inside. Isn't that cool? I really like that touch, and they came out perfect. As I mentioned, titanium, they're extremely light. I mean, it's like holding a number 2 pencil or something in your hand. So how come I got these? Well, when we got the new wheels, which are wider, and I promise I'm not gonna whine and bitch about my salty, dirty car in this upload. As I said, they're wider, 20 by 10 up front, 20 by 11 in the rear. So the original bolts, they're actually a bit too short for this wheel. So you might say that I've been risking it slightly since I had these wheels put on. Now, I've been checking the bolts. I mean, they sit on there like they're never coming off. But if I were to do, you know, track driving and that kind of thing, of course, that would be a safety concern, because we only got 5 turns and about a 1/16 of a turn with a torque wrench with the original bolts. So I got longer ones and titanium ones. That's going to get fitted on the car today. Okay, so after some drone shots of the salty beast here, let's take a look at the new lug bolts. I like that personal touch of having the AV logo in the middle. So as I said in the beginning of the video, I don't really know if you can call it a modification. I mean, I guess it sort of is, because it's personalized, you know, to my taste, having the logo on there and everything. With that being said, it's definitely a necessity. Also, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, is that the original lug bolts, it wasn't long enough for the new wheels, so you can never be too sure. And if I were to do some high performance driving, pushing the car in turns on a track and so on, it would definitely not be safe to do it with the new wheels and the original lug bolts. Now we're going to talk about the topic of the video here in just 1 minute, but I wanted to mention that the new tires that I'm using, the Pilot Sport 4S's, which are the successors to the original tires that were on the car, which are the Pilot Super Sports. Now they're both high performance summer tires, but there's a huge difference in the performance when you're driving in the wintertime. Now obviously neither of those tires are made for winter driving. The interesting thing is though, with them both being very soft tires, when I was driving the Pilot Super Sports, it was like driving around on 4 rocks when the temperatures are what they are right now. However, it's a huge difference with the Pilot Sport 4S's. You don't notice that at all. It almost feels like an all-season tire. So I'm extremely impressed with the new tires in the conditions that I'm driving them. It'll be even more interesting to see how they perform whenever this crappy ass winter is over and I can drive the car the way it's supposed to be driven, in the temperatures it's supposed to be driven. But let's talk about my first C63, the original beast. Quiet, please. Out of all the questions that I get from people, subscribers and followers on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and all that, the main question I get is regarding my first C63 and when we're going to see it again. Now, if you've been following the channel for some time, you'll know that this is my second C63. The first one, hydrolocked, it was totaled after 7 weeks. And there was a process following that where, you know, dealing with insurance and all that stuff. And long story short, here we are. I got a new one. The original one was totaled. A new engine was $71,000. The insurance company felt it wasn't worth it and replaced the car. Now, fall of last year, I went to Miami with my buddy, Dr. M3. He was taking delivery of his Huracan Performante. And the days right before I was about to leave, I got a phone call. A gentleman had called me and left me a message saying that I'm the owner of your previous car. Now, on my drive back to Pittsburgh from Florida, I actually called the gentleman that now owns my original AMG, and we spoke on the phone, and he had no idea of the history of the car, and he didn't know about my channel and so on. So it was a pretty interesting conversation. Now, we did discuss the possibility of us meeting up because it would be extremely interesting to see my original AMG, which he, by the way, has completely restored engine-wise. He needed a piston, I know that. He needed a rod. And he's the type of guy that works on cars, so he's actually had the car up and running. The last time I spoke with him, he had over 1,000 miles on the car, and it's running like clockwork. Now, he's actually a used car dealer in a different state, but he hasn't sold the car. He's keeping it for himself, at least for now. Now, the thing is, he's about 4 or 5 hours away from me, and we're both extremely busy. He has a lot of stuff going on, you know, business-wise and, you know, personal life and everything. So we haven't had the chance to meet up yet. Now, I hadn't texted with him in a while, so I didn't really know what the status of the car was, if he still had it or if he had ended up selling it to someone else. Now, we did have a brief conversation the other day, and I'm glad to know that he actually still has the car. So to answer the question that I get asked a lot, it's almost on a daily basis where people ask me, you know, what's going on with the original car? Are we going to be able to see it? Are you going to meet up with him? Are you going to be able to film it? And so on. And I haven't really been able to say a definite yes, and I still can't. But during our most recent and brief conversation, we did say that we could meet up when spring comes. Now, the problem is that he is about 4 or 5 hours away from where I live. So it's not like we live in the same city and we can just hook something up real quick. I have to drive there, of course, meet up with him and everything. And with the weather being what it is, I think it would be best to do it when spring comes. And, you know, who knows what we can come up with, you know, take both cars out, maybe do a head-to-head, that kind of thing. It would be a lot of fun. Now, I mean, I don't know the gentleman, you know, personally. So, you know, not everyone is always interested in being on camera. So he hasn't really indicated that he doesn't want to at all. But if I can at least get there and I could film the car and see it, you know, he wouldn't really have to be on video. But that's something that we're just going to have to come to terms with and see what we work out there. But I wanted to let everyone know that I am in contact with the new owner, and we are really trying to set up a meet when spring comes here. So to answer the question that everyone's been asking, yes, I will be meeting up with the new owner and seeing the old beast. Now, of course, that is a video that I want to make because I want to see the car, but I also know that you guys are really, really waiting for that, and it would be extremely interesting. So that's basically the update that I have on the car. The cool thing is that he has it completely up and running. By now, he probably has several thousand miles on the car, seeing how he had 1,000 miles on it about 2 or 3 months ago. He says he loves driving it. He thinks it's an absolute monster, which it is. So nothing surprising there. Now I'm going to do my best to keep everyone updated on, you know, timelines and everything that we can make this happen, because all the modifications that I've done to this car so far, I pretty much had planned to do on that car. It's just that I didn't have time to do it. Like the diffuser and the grill and everything, that was on order for that car when everything happened, so I put it on this one instead. The spoiler that I have in the rear, that was the only modification that I had put on the first C63. So this car right here is what that car should have been. But now I'm gonna spray the car off again and go home and park it in the garage when I'm done and not drive it during these weather conditions, because I literally wash my car every time I drive it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment in the comment section below. If there's any additional questions regarding the previous car that I didn't answer in this video, leave them in the comment section. I'll try to answer them the best way I can. But thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.